So, what is the greatest study technique humanity has to offer that you can apply to change your life? I'm 30, and since I was around 22, I've dreamt of becoming an intellectual, someone with deeper insights about many things. Since if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, I created an eclectic list of books from Karl Marx to the works of Ayn Rand to economists like Henry Hazlitt and started reading them emotionally, I felt strongly motivated. So I endured the mental pain of going through these books. Within months, I became confident and happier now that I knew more about this world and saw many things differently. However, there was one problem. When I was on, say, my fifth book, I would no longer thoroughly remember the first two as I used to. I would only remember their gist, and that could fit on one page. I would open a random page from a book I read, say, 2 months ago, and frequently noticed that there were ideas that I had no memory of having known once. And when even conversing, I struggled to articulate these ideas beyond the surface level. So paradoxically, I strongly believed in these new ideas, but forgot the reason why. So I felt disappointed that I was not smart enough to remember things, let alone become an intellectual. And I was unwilling to continue studying this because, I mean, honestly, what's the point? I'll forget them in a month anyway. And years later, I discovered that the science of learning, and that changed my life. And I want it to change yours as well. There is such a thing as forgetting curve. It is an epistemological fact that what you learn today will most likely be forgotten in a few days. Even if that is something that you understand really well now, unfortunately, you will likely forget it in a week or so. Forgetting curve. That is, unless you put in additional efforts to maintain it. Now, it turns out that every value in your life, from your car to your self esteem and everything in between, has to be achieved and consciously maintained after that. And memory is no exception. So, how exactly do we maintain it? We maintain new knowledge through what we call repetition. Now, that is, we return to the same material and restudy it. Now, you might say, why on earth do I need to hear from you that I should revise stuff? And that's because most people on this planet, including me, did this wrong and do this wrong. I know you probably don't, but others do. A key thing is to do it systematically. And by systematically, I mean you don't merely do repetition of the material, but spaced repetition. Spaced repetition is where you deliberately do not look at what you learned from for some time to let your memory wither away a little bit. Why? Because, well, simply because of two reasons. The first thing is that the forgetting curve thing. Let's take a rough example. Say you learned today in statistics that the mean, the average symbol is X bar for a sample. That is X with a line on its head. You will likely forget it if you don't restudy or think about it in, say, 3 days. But if you were to review it again tomorrow, this time you would likely forget it after 5 days. And this time, if you wait for 3 days to repeat it, and you will likely forget it after 10 days, and so on. Again, I'm using rough numbers to illustrate my point. Therefore, deliberately waiting to restudy increases the time you remember it. If you keep doing it, your next revision gap will increase to a week, and then it goes to a month, and so on. The second reason you want to space your repetition is efficiency. When restudying the new concept, you don't merely read your notes again. It is scientifically proven that merely reading your notes is a low efficiency method. And almost everybody on this planet do precisely that. Instead, you switch to the most efficient technique, which is active recall. Active recall, simply put, is trying to recall that concept you learned from memory. Now, you can do this in many ways. For example, you can frame a question and quiz yourself. But we'll deal with the details later. The overall idea of active recall is that you test yourself. So, in our example, you don't reread your notes that the arithmetic mean of a sample is denoted by an X bar. No, you don't do that. Instead, you would frame a question. Let's say, what is a symbol used to denote an arithmetic mean? You wait for your memory to wither away a bit before actively recalling this. Because when you quiz yourself, you will struggle to recall since it's been a while. And that struggle is where the connections in your brain are strengthened. So, just like in the gym, it's no pain, no gain. If you recall something effortlessly, well, you should have waited a little longer. It is again doing lighter weights in the gym. Now, for the specific questions of how we correctly schedule spaced repetition or how to correctly implement active recall, now I provided you the links in the description to the videos of an amazing YouTuber. His name is Ali Abda, who explains these ideas excellently. My goal for this video is to hopefully change your life like it has changed mine by introducing you to these concepts. If you take the ideas I shared seriously and apply them and start to reap the rewards, I would love for you to return to this video and share your story. I promise you that I would love to read it. And this channel is so small that you may never find me in the searches again. So I want to say that I love you and I wish you the best and thank you very much for your time. Bye.